So let's talk about cannabis addiction, pot, marijuana. This is a real thing. What's going on right now, because it's become legalized in many states, and it'll probably be federally legalized before too long, so people take it very casually. I buy it over the counter now if I'm 21 or whatever the age is. So I think that it's safe. And for some people it is. Just like alcohol, I can go into any supermarket and buy some alcohol. That doesn't mean that it's safe for everybody. Cigarettes, the same way, I can buy those at a gas station and they're not safe for anybody, but they're publicly available. So the cannabis addiction, we've seen an increase of this over the last couple of years, probably tied to its becoming legal, and people think that it's no big deal. And I guess compared to some other drugs, maybe it's not as big of a deal, right? If we look at the collateral damage around cannabis compared to alcohol, for example, people drive at 100 miles an hour when you're drinking, and people drive at 10 miles an hour, when you're smoking marijuana. But nonetheless, it impairs our judgment. And if you can do it in a casual way where it's not getting in the way of your cognitive functioning or your social obligations or your work obligations, or getting us basically numb or burnt out, so I'm just not as alive, and then it's become a problem. Just like alcohol, if I can go out and have a drink here and there, and it becomes an enhancement to my life because maybe it helps me relax a little bit in social situations every now and again, but I don't become dependent on it to relax in social situations, then hey, great, maybe it can be a complement to my life somehow. Same with cannabis. People are using it for anxiety, they're using it for a whole host of things. They're using it for to come off of stronger drugs. There's a lot of uses for this. And what we're saying is, just don't take it casually, because there's a withdrawal coming off of cannabis. The whole thing that there's no withdrawal from cannabis, that's not true. Actually, people can go into psychosis from smoking cannabis because it's very strong now. So there are some strong considerations, and I guess I'd ask the question, are you smoking more pot than you want to? If the answer to that is not yes, are you thinking about it more? What happens when you don't have it? Do you get more irritable when you don't have it? These are the kinds of questions that you might want to ask yourself. How many times have you tried to quit? And what happens when you try to quit? These are all questions that might lead to thinking about the fact that this is an addictive substance, and there's no way around that. It just is. It's habit forming. Just like coffee is habit forming. When I don't have coffee, get a headache. Don't have marijuana, people can go into these long depressive episodes. So it's really something that we are seeing it much more right now. People that are coming in for pot addiction, their side effects and the collateral damage to their lives are really significant, equal to a lot of stronger, what would be considered stronger street drugs. And it's becoming a real issue. So I'd invite you to take stock in your life and decide, is it a problem? Is it in the way of your relationship? Are you a little bit fuzzy in the morning? Are you a little bit fuzzy all day? Are you able to think? Is your memory the same? Is your mind clear? Are you creative? And a lot of people use marijuana to get more creative, right? They think somehow they get ideas flowing, and probably initially they may, but in the long term, it comes back to bite them. It comes back, the very thing that opened up their creativity is the thing that now is trapping them. And that's when we have to look at this as an addiction. So if any of this applies to you, or it's on your mind And that's how I always pay attention to things. When something has my attention and I'm ruminating over it and I'm wondering, do I have a problem? Do I not have a problem? Is this interfering with my life? Then it probably is, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be thinking about it. So if you'd like to explore what it looks like to get some help with this, then give us a call. And we'll talk you through and answer any questions that you have. And just know that you're not alone. This is going on. It's a lot of people are facing this now. A lot of people that would have never even thought about smoking marijuana or becoming addicted to marijuana, because it's just everywhere out there. And people just assume that it's safe and that there are no strings attached. And that's just not the case.